The time is now.
Hey, we're back indeed. I think there's nothing more apt than that little message from our Brian Johnson, AC/DC lead singer.
Are you ready?
We are ready and we are back. Now, listen, obviously tonight's show is going to be all about, I have got the fallen angel behind me. I've got a little bit of a halo and the bulky man has just arrived. So we've got the panel. We're going to talk about the transfer between us and the clubs around us, just to see how we feel. And obviously, we have to bring a certain fallen angel up tonight because there's a question that I want to throw at everybody. So tonight, we've got the Mighty Win. We've got Jeffo from 90s Mags. We've got the Doc, who's recovering from an ACL repair. And we've got the lovely Boki, who obviously comes with a different agenda all the time. Let's see if he can get Win on a hook tonight. So what we're going to do now, before we do anything else, I suppose, is do the usual housework, and then we'll crack on with the show. So again, welcome to everybody watching across all of the platforms. Thanks to everybody that works in the background. You do an amazing job. Don't forget, people out there, you've been fantastic, but you need to be fantastic a little bit more. Hit that like button. It just helps us get further as a channel. Subscribe. It's totally free. Hit the bell for future content. If you want to support us, you can help us grow by becoming a member. Different levels. You choose. Don't matter to us. And if you're gifted any memberships, then please think about renewing after the membership expires. If you've got a question for any of us in the panel, then throw a Q in front of that question. We'll do our best to highlight certain ones. But again, the chat goes really quick. So if you put a Q in front of it, it gives us some chance to look at it. But if you want to guarantee it, then obviously use a $sign. Follow the information and that guarantee that message read out from that Talk TV super chat. And like I said, any new members or any of our lovely members out there that gift them will be highlighted and thanked. And don't forget, peeps, there is still time to come and join us on the Prediction League. It's where we try and predict Newcastle scores every match. It's a lot harder than it sounds. £5 entry fee. Prizes for the top 6, top 4 with a cash prize, 5th and 6th with a prize to more of the value than your entry fee. So it's a good one. And like I say, even though you've missed 3 games, it's still very, very close in that league. So again, come and join us if you want a bit of fun. So, gentlemen, how are we? Are we a glass half full or a glass half empty? Post-transfer blues.
Well,
Hey.
it's actually half empty there, but not from my point of view. Glass definitely half full. I think it's been a very, very good transfer window. Apart from the Isak debacle, which has been hanging like a black cloud over everybody for, I don't know how long now, what, 6 weeks or 4 it seems like a year. But he's gone. Bye-bye. Good riddance. Let's get on with what we've got left and come on, the Wolfman. So I'm very, very happy. What about you, Jeffo?
Yeah, it's, you know what, if you'd asked me yesterday, I was fuming. So in a way, I'm kind of happy I didn't come on yesterday. I was really just angry and upset. I think the whole Isak situation reminds me of just like a soap opera where you might, catch your partner cheating on you, and it's like, okay, what do you do? But yeah, no, we've dealt with that situation now, and I'm very happy that the club took quite a stoic, cold stance in terms of addressing him leaving. Obviously, I'm sure we'll get into it later, but a bit disappointed by some of the players' reactions. In terms of the overall window, again, now I've calmed down a little bit and the dust has settled, I think overall as a squad, we have improved. There are some signings that I like more than others. There are some signings that I think still need to prove themselves, and it's hard to judge right now. You have to let time play out and see how well they do. But I do think actually I give Eddie credit on and the recruitment team credit in terms of addressing getting a ball playing goalkeeper, getting a centre back with pace, which we knew was an issue. Now, although I don't think we have the profile midfielder I would like, Ian Ramsey, because he's more of a runner than a passer, I still think he adds a new dimension to the team with his speed. And particularly with Voltemada, I think, depending on how we set up, there might be a chance of solving that number 10 riddle that we haven't had in a long time. So it's promising. I'm very much on the balance side. I think it was a good window.
Hold on, I'm going to go and get some pills because I'm a bit confused here. Because Jeffo, that's as positive as I've heard you for a very long time, young man. I love it, absolutely love it. Have you had a fall today and slapped your head somewhere? Because that is that is good. Doc, how are you doing? Very very nice start. I like that one actually, mate. How are you feeling for one? And obviously, we were telling everybody because they were all out for you, mate. They were all out for you. And we told them, you're not in hiding. You're big enough to face the news. Good content the other day, by the way, on Sunday. I enjoyed your video.
I did, 5 o'clock in the morning, I did come into the group and I acknowledged first. So I think people... Sorry?
Hit the rough.
Yeah, so I wasn't in hiding, even though I had surgery that morning, so I could have just disappeared and appeared in the evening. To be honest, it's been like a whirlwind 24 hours. So it was funny because, as you know, Sunday night I was doing the live with our friend in Saudi, in Riyadh. Thanks for those of you guys who tuned in.
Your inside source.
Yeah. And somebody, I think, put a comment that it'd be hilarious if actually Isak was sold during the live show. So they weren't quite far off because I went to sleep at 1:30 in the morning, Dubai time, and when I got up at 3:30 to get ready to pray and then go for my surgery, I saw the news and I was like in shock. So I still feel hurt, to be honest. I know people are happy that he's gone, but I don't know. I've got mixed feelings. I think we came across as quite weak as an ownership group. We publicly made this statement that we're not going to sell him, and then on the last day we sold him. So on balance, in terms of the transfers, I think we've done well, but I think it's unknown because we've got two strikers. What's the system going to be? He has to change his formation. So it's exciting, but also worrying in terms of like where we go from here.
Good. I mean, like I said, it's interesting. I mean, obviously, Boki, we've come up with some. Boki, bless him, he's come up with some names that we've got to give. We've got to highlight certain things of either being good, medium, or poor. So we're going to come to them in a minute, and there's just going to be, a couple of words for what we think the transfer window has been so far. But Boki, give me your true thoughts, mate, of what you feel.
Here comes negativity. I don't think it's been a great window. If you look at the team at the end of the actual starting 11 from the end of last season that we could put out to the start of this season, I don't think there's been much, if any, improvement.
Okay.
There's new players that have came in and we've got to give them a chance and everything, but there's nobody that's came in that sort of you think, they're definitely going to be the first choice in that position. So I think we've 100% got a better squad, and I know everyone will come at it from that point of view, which we have, but I think we've done that without necessarily improving the first team massively.
Okay, so I suppose that gives us a pretty balanced look of how everybody sees this transfer window, if you like. Now, obviously, I don't know whether you guys had seen. Here we go. Michael McIntyre, thank you very much, buddy. He's a picture of a slice of pink birthday cake with purple icing and a candle. So they're
Is it your
celebrating.
birthday, Michael? If it is, happy
Happy
birthday.
birthday, buddy. Happy birthday, mate.
I think it's more the fact that it's
Virgos
celebrating.
rule.
Virgos rule. There you
You
go.
think it's whose birthday? Sorry, Gary.
I think it's more the celebration of the end of the transfer window. That's how I'm looking at it. Not a birthday, but the end of all the saga.
It's just a piece
Because
of
it
cake.
has, it has been an interesting window. So I'll give you my thoughts on it. And I think, if I'm 100% honest, I think it's a positive step forward for me regarding how Eddie Howe's approached this. And you look at it, and it's a case of out with the old and in with the new. And to me, that is exactly how it feels. Now, losing a striker as we did, a lot of pressure comes on the new lads that have come in, and a lot of changes. So there's going to be a lot of ground that needs bedding before you're going to see true harmony from the lads that have come in. 6 new faces is difficult to bed into any squad of 11, so you may not see all of them play together, but it certainly gives us depth now with strength. So for me, it's a definite positive step forward. I agree with Jeffo though. If there was an area of weakness for me, it's probably still midfield. I still think there was a potential for us to go and get something. So again, going on what Blessing Boki come in with. So if it's good, if you think the transfer window was good, I want you to say what my saying is. It blows me frock up. If you think it was okay, I want you to go with Chris and go, come on, man. And then if it's a poor, I want you to do a win. We are knackered. So
We are knackered.
yeah, there you go. So what do you think of the transfer window? For me, it blows me frock up. For you, win?
Blows my frock up as well.
Jeffo?
Come on, man.
Doc?
Come on, man.
And Boki.
We are knackered.
No, how does that not surprise me? Oh, fabulous! Now, listen, like I said, it is a difficult situation, and for me, when I look at where we are, I am glad the international breaks come now. Not as a football fan, because I ain't very interested in this type of stuff. If I'm honest with you, I shall watch the England matches, but I shan't watch much else. But now we've got a young German involved.
German?
German, them bloody Germans. I think.
Jimmy.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be interesting now across Europe to watch a certain individual. I mean, I've been watching our fallen angel training with Sweden. Be interested to know what type of information and chat between Kraft and Elanga with Isak, whether there's still a romance, a bromance as we can call it, or whether there's a little bit of niggle behind the scenes. I'm sure there won't be. I'm sure they'll be as professional as they possibly can. But I wanted to ask you guys, because obviously we had words on younger Sula right towards the end of the transfer window with a potential move to Germany, which was curtailed lastminute.com. Do you think that favours Asula and him improving as a player? Now we've got 2 strikers in front of him. The opportunity is going to come very slim. Is it something that we've missed out on here, or do you think Eddie's just being very, very cautionary?
Well, first of all, bravo more 1982 as opposed to 1892. You think we will trade Gordon Botman after what they said about Isak? That way, amputated disease. Listen, we'll come on to that presently. But what I want to say about this window and Eddie's in-game management and focusing upon Bogey's particular attitude about the first team is so often when we discussed last season, everybody brought up the Fulham games, the Bournemouth games, and these games that we dropped points when we were expected in inverted commas to win them. So I've been having a look. This was our bench against Bournemouth. Trips, Share, okay. Asula, okay. Willock, okay. Would definitely not have strengthened Livramento, right back, Botman, centre back, Isak up front, and who was the other one? Joe Willock, J7 Tonali or Gamoras in midfield. And after those four, we had Vlachodimos, Almiron, Lloyd Kelly, Sean Longstaff, and Lewis Miley. Is anybody telling us that when things were going wrong against Bournemouth, when we got beat 4-1, that having the option of bringing on a Wissa for a Voldemort, for example, instead of Asula for Isak, Trippier, Tino, you can make your mind up. That's still canny. Share for Botman instead of Chow for Botman. Botman all day long. Or Chow in front of Share. Willock as opposed to Ramsey. And then instead of Almiron, Elanga, instead of Longstaff, Ramsey. There is no doubt at all in my mind that our transfer window this year has given Eddie options. Now, the question is Eddie capable of utilising those options?
Win. Can I just make one quick point about what you
Of course
referenced
you can.
about last year and options? I'm sorry to do this, but
He's
that's on.
back. He's back.
This is factual. That's on Eddie, my friend. Because if we go back to the summer, so the difference between last summer and this summer is there's no DOF to get in the way. Eddie's been able to execute his plan and sign whoever he wants to sign. Last summer, obviously, Paul Mitchell came in. Obviously, he came quite late in the day, and that disrupted proceedings because obviously the two of them were scuffling. And he had the opportunity to sign Malik Tiel. I think Mitchell was trying to work on that one, and he was insistent on Mark Guehi. So we wasted the whole time going for Mark Guehi. Now we've signed Tiel belatedly. So we could have actually had Tiel to come off the bench. The other one for me was, I was saying it on 90s Mags at the time, Seru Girassi was available for £15 million, trigger release clause for Stuttgart. Now, eventually Dortmund made the risk to sign him because a lot of people thought it was a one-season wonder. We paid the same fee for William Asula, who was a League One player, because he was a tip from Jason Tyndall. So we would have had someone like a Girassi potentially on the bench to bring on. So if we want to talk about that, we have to go back to it, and the root of that problem, and that was Eddie Howe, I'm afraid, in my opinion.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, what I would say about that is we had William Asula, and by all accounts, who were bought for the same fee that you're talking about for Girassi. Not Stuttgart, Frankfurt are willing to buy Asula right now for that amount of money. Would you pay 30 million right now for William Masula?
No, I wouldn't.
No, and neither would I.
Can I pick Win up on a couple of points?
Go on, my eye.
Firstly, I wasn't here all of last season to keep you right, so I think that's part of the problem. Secondly, I understand what you're saying, that the bench is better, and I've never argued that point. The point that I've argued is that if we had bought first team ready players, we would then automatically have a better bench, because the players that were playing last season, that you've quite rightly said were really good, Joe Linton, we could have got a replacement for him, and then he drops to the bench, so he gives us the options from the bench. So rather than buy bench players, what I think we should have done was buy players that come into the first team, and then the first team players that we had become the bench players,
And then we would have had 2 players instead of 5 players.
But not necessarily. I mean, there's been some. We've had a nightmare with deals, but there's been some deals done that have been sensible.
Yeah, but if you're going to buy a player who would automatically replace J7, you've got to be paying 80, 90 million for him.
Javi Guerra, 25 million.
Yeah,
Edison,
with
50
all
million, maybe.
due respect, Jeff, this is you're bringing up the name of a player who, you happen to like and think he's better than J7. Do you think he's better than J7?
I think he has the potential to be in, and I'm trying to
Never mind
be in. I'm trying to
potential.
hold on. I'm being in line with you. That looking at a player that plays to Eddie Howe's strengths, he can develop younger talent. He's got the physical attributes. He's tall. He's strong. He's quick. There is a slightly similar style to Joe Linton.
Yeah.
It's just that he's better when he gets to the final third, and he's better in possession. That's a legitimate cheap option when we're thinking, all right, we've got problems with PSR. We can't spend that much money.
We're not talking about cheap options. Bogey is wanting players who come in straight away, hit the ground running, and are better than J7.
Edison.
And you don't want that win.
Right. Of course I do. But we can't afford that right now. And if you're talking about Edison, I would Edison from Atlanta, I take it you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, I've been shouting about Edison in Atlanta as long as I've been shouting about Voldemort from Stuttgart. So yeah, I'll go along with that. But not you're not going to get Edison for 35 million. And what I'm saying is what we have got in this window massively helps our side. Helps Newcastle United. That's all I'm saying.
But we don't know that yet, Win, because I think the thing about some of these. Wow, thank you, Sheila. I think the thing about some of these is some of them are unknowns in terms of Nick Voldemort. That we've seen he's got the potential, but someone made a comment on 90s Mags the other night, and they actually challenged me because I was actually being positive about it. I was saying actually he can drop into the space, wingers can push beyond, and I was talking about Elanga and Barnes. But we don't know how they're going to react. You know, if he's occupying that space, it takes time for them to read each other's games. If he's persisting with playing Gordon, Murphy, potentially, that might not work. It's all ifs and buts at this point. Remember, it's the Premier League. We've already seen that Wirtz is even struggling, to get to terms with the Premier League. It could take them 15 to 20 games to adjust. Ramsey, he hasn't had a run in the side. He hasn't built a bond with the defence yet. Malik Tiao, people were already critical of him after 15 minutes. I think he's a good signing, but so a lot of these are ifs and buts. We can't say it's 10 out of 10. It's an amazing window because a lot of these we don't really know how it's going to work.
I've just clipped you there, by the way. Right now, I've just clipped you. It could take 10 to 15 games
Oh yeah, thinking of the excuses
for
already.
these players to get up to speed and into the Eddie style of playing. I rest my case, and that's it. That is clipped, so do not ever come on this stream now and say, why aren't they doing it after 1, 2, 3 games? They're rubbish. What a waste. Eddie's useless. Not yet. It can take 10 to 15 games for these guys to get up to speed.
You're right, Win.
Beautiful.
You're right. You are right, mate. I'm not.
Eddie can't afford that win. That's the big problem.
Correct. Oh my God! I've got Bogey and Jeppo coming onto my side. No, he can't. That's why Eddie has to be pragmatic and go for teams and formations, whatever, which are actually going to get results, because he can't afford to wait 10 to 15 games. If he has to wait 10 to 15 games to get everything gelling, he's going to be 10th and 12th in the league, and you're going to be yelling for him to be out.
You've done your favourite of arguing both sides. But
I'm going to say, I'm confused before I've even started this yet. Now listen, I've got on the screen here. If you have a look, I mean, sorry, it's a little bit on the small side, just for it to fit the window, and it says analysis of the standout deals so far this summer ahead of the 25-26, and again, as you can see, it's the Premier League. And you wouldn't be surprised if I was to tell you who they think has had the most outstanding window. So obviously, number one they've put down as the Pool, with who they've bought in, and you can probably say with the Fallen Angel, it probably does give them a little bit of an edge over everybody else. But when you go down to number two, it goes down to Chelsea. Obviously, they've had a decent window. I mean, again, when you look at the business, but when you look at the business that they've sold as well as bought in, I think it was something like over £300 million they've accumulated from sales. So again, a decent window. Probably they are the dark horses to finish high in the league. And then they've got three, Sunderland, with a lot of the African nations players coming in.
Net spend bigger than us.
Yeah, net spend bigger than us. And like I say, they've certainly pushed the boat out a little bit there. But like I say, let's see how it goes during the AFCON, because it could be a totally different story for their season. Then in fourth place, it comes down to Arsenal. Again, a few added to the squad that was nearly runs. And to be fair, from what I've seen, again, it doesn't blow my frock up. I think they've just got the wrong captain for that squad, and I think they could do a lot better.
Olasula, I don't thank you for your $4.99. Every team in the Prem has brought in new players who needs to adapt.
Yeah,
we are all in the same boat. Even Liverpool is not playing well, albeit winning. And that is so true.
Can you do the one before as well, Win, please, buddy?
Sheila. I thought we did, sorry.
No, we just clapped her.
Oh, have I missed? Which one?
I can do it in a second. Then it goes through to Burnley. If you can look at it while I carry on, mate. Yeah. Then it goes into Burnley, and again, you could say they need to strengthen because it's all about staying in the Premier League. But is it really higher than what we've done? I question that. And then Man City at number 6. Again, you look at the players that they've brought into a decent squad already. But again, the results haven't gone their way. So the argument that you guys have just been having there, or I say argument, but a discussion about obviously gelling the right players into the right position and the right setup could be a little bit wavy. Then it goes to Spurs. Again, I'm not going to talk about Spuds. Brighton do the usual Brighton thing and bring in players that you've never heard of. and then obviously sell on for the best. But poor old Newcastle, according to the Premier League, come under the umbrella of the rest. And it's a very, very brief mentioning to us, and it goes on to say the Cameroonian's departure would be tough on a club that has already lost a manager, a captain, with Yohan Wissa also linked to a potential move away, which obviously he has. The arrival of Anthony Elanga to Newcastle looks to be an excellent move that will unite him with his Swede teammate Alexander Isak. So it does make you wonder how much information these guys read before they print. Because, like I say, we are also classed as the also
We've
rans
got
there.
the mighty Myth Magician official fan club. Great panel tonight, talking about Rip Torn, Alf Garnett, Micah Richards, Juggy Joyce. I don't know who Juggy Joyce is, so I don't know. And Hounslow. Oh, Hounslow from Keeping Up Appearances. Onslow, in it. Keeping Up Appearances.
I'll go and put my vest on.
What's the racing on the telly?
Yeah.
Sheila, thanks for your great work yesterday. Every team in the Prem has brought new players. Yeah, I think we did that one, did we? Thank you, Olasula.
Yeah. I'm not pretty sure about Rip Torn though. I mean, I must admit, I'm a little bit.
Who's Rip Torn?
I mean, to be fair, I've got a picture of him here. This is probably of the best one I can see. I can see of him. I mean, like I say, he doesn't blow me frock up at all. If I'm honest. Oh dear. I have tried to pick the funniest one. I must admit.
What does he do?
He's an actor. He's been around a bit. I've been around a bit, but I don't think I've been around.
Hair like that, Gary.
No, I am receding, but not as far back as that one.
No, I'm on about the sides.
Well, listen. If I let it go, if I let it grow, it does bush out a little bit like that. It never goes down. It always goes out. But thanks anyway. That's the Mighty MILF Magician official fan club. Try saying that when you've had a few. Win.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Yeah, indeed. Did you find the super chat from Sheila?
Sorry, I thought we just
there you
did
go.
Now.
No, thanks. That's for your great work for yesterday. Thanks, Sheila.
Yeah,
it was a bit of a marathon.
It was a marathon.
To be fair, I needed Sudocrem afterwards, but we're okay. Well, yeah, exactly. We're all here and working again. So again, looking at that Premier League, obviously it's like everything that the Premier League suggests. It's always the narrative always seems to fall around the other teams, the other 6 teams before it moves on to the rest. Fair evaluation, gentlemen, or do you think it's a little bit over the top as usual?
Back in, it boils down regarding the whole window, which is what we're talking about. It boils down to which coach can get his team motivated fastest, bearing in mind that Jeffo said it can take 10 to 15 games. I believe in Eddie.
To see the best of them.
Look at what... Oh, we've lost it, sorry.
Oh, that was me. Sorry, buddy. I've just... Because Mighty Mag has put cheers. That's my fault.
I do think, guys, though, there's a lot
of... It boils down to which to get his team more. I believe in Eddie. Look at what he's done with far less quality in our squad. And I totally agree, Olasula.
I was just going to say, I think there's a lot of pressure on Eddie because he spent 250 million after 3 transfer windows with no transfers. So I think there's less pressure when there's less expectation. But there is a lot of expectation now, especially because we've lost our Rolls Royce of a player, Isak, the one superstar that we had. So I think there is going to be a lot of pressure. I want to ask you guys. We paid 55 million for Wissa, 65 million for Walter Mada. So they both have to play, in my opinion. You can't have one on the bench.
I've gone to the other side of the fence here, mate. I'm a
Oh,
porn
wow.
star now. Ron Jeremy. Hey.
Again, I'm
I'm
none the
not sure
wiser.
Queenie's doing
Hey,
nothing
come
about
on,
this.
Win. You've got lots of them VHS stuff.
So what
Queenie's
do you
doing
think, guys?
nothing
Do you
about
think,
this.
guys, in terms of both strikers have to play?
No. No, I think you will find
I think they can.
that definitely can. I think
I
you've
think
got
they can.
you've got a cracking opportunity to play a 10 if you wanted to go and play this 4-2-3-1. And it's got to be something that Eddie has in his locker now going forward, especially at points where we need to change up a gear in games. Again, we've been quite steadfast when it comes to, have we got a plan B? Well, the signings that he's created and he's brought into the side offers you a plan B without even trying too hard, because they can all do a very, very good role in their allotted position. So for me, he has not only bought it, I believe, players that will improve the squad. I think there's, again, I go back to it and I say there's a number of players here that will compete for the starting 11. Not saying they will be in the starting 11, but they'll
don't you
compete.
think both Wissa and Walter will expect to play?
Well, listen, I think we were talking about this, yesterday. When you think about it, Wissa has always wanted to play for Newcastle. And the question around Wissa's approach to it before he left, what wasn't good. Very similar situation to what we found ourselves before.
All I would say there, Gary, is that they always wanted to play for Newcastle. I think it's a bit in inverted commas because
I'm saying he's always wanted to play for Newcastle where we went in for him. That was his move. Yeah. Well, I'm not saying in the past. I'm just saying he wanted the move to Newcastle, and he had again been given this promise about a club coming in with higher expectations, with a decent wedge on the table. He was allowed to leave. Now, obviously, that turned a little bit sour, and like I say, his actions I do question. But
I'm going to just jump on Paul Predator's comment there, and only because Umar just said our only superstar, which I would completely disagree with. I think
who else is a superstar?
Well, Tonali for one. Easy peasy. I mean, that as far as I'm concerned.
Would he get into the Arsenal Liverpool side, Tonali?
Tonali, easily.
He would.
Yeah, 100%.
Without a doubt.
Okay.
And like I said, he wasn't a superstar when he came here 3 years ago. It's working with Eddie and his mates that have left him a superstar. In the words of Johnny Minerals, let's have it right.
Make a good southerner of you yet, Vin.
Yeah, exactly.
But Jefferson, question, because Wissa's been given the number 9 shirt. Obviously, it's iconic. That suggests to me that he'll be a starter. You wouldn't give him a number 9 shirt without not starting.
I find this flabbergasted in today's age, simply because gone are the days from 1 to 11 where the number 9 shirt was prevalent of being the one that's going to go up top and get you the goals. Now it's squad. Oh, go on, let's have a look at this one.
There's Warren Dillon congratulating our super chatter Olasula, saying, Olasula, you're far too intelligent for this gang.
Boy, the cult out in full force tonight.
Absolutely. So for me, when you look at our previous...
The cult is growing, Jefferson. The cult is growing.
The rebellion is still, still pumping on, mate.
10 to 15 games.
Oh dear. You see, for me, when you, there was some lads that had put in the store about our previous last 8 to wear it. Callum Wilson, Joe Linton, Solomon Rondon, Dwight Gale, Papa Cisse, Andy Carroll, Obafemi Martins, Shola Amiobi. When you put all those players down, that's wore this iconic number 9 shirt, you wouldn't really say if you were to put a name to the number 9 as an elite striker, that there's many names there that you would put under the umbrella as being elite, if
Off the
any.
top of my head, Gary, out of
Fact.
that list of names that you've just said, I can only think of. In fact, I think that's only Shearer.
Yeah.
Who,
And I
who-
think that-
who-
and I think
who-
that's the
who-
problem.
Who scored 19 prem goals in the season?
Can I put my head up over the parapet as well and disagree
Of course
with
you can.
Gary on a point? Was Shula Amiobi have a number 9 forward?
Was
Yeah,
he
yeah.
Yeah.
23, wasn't
Yeah.
One
He
season.
did. He had one season.
Right.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, like I said, when you've got squad numbers now, the number 9 shirt can be worn by anybody. It doesn't even have to be an attacker these days.
No,
but
no,
I think I think routinely what we always seem to do across the Premier League is utilise that number as your main striker. But it doesn't necessarily. I mean, we've seen them now with 70 odd, with 80, and it gets a bit silly.
Yeah.
you know.
Gary, but come on.
he?
Number
He knows the
9 at
significance.
Newcastle.
That's what I'm saying. But are we just talking about historically? Wait,
He knows it.
No,
If you
what's
think
your-
about
what's-
Isak refused to wear it, didn't he? And yet he wore it for his own country, as Ben from the Noise pointed out. He wore it for his own country, and
Yeah.
he's happily wore it for Liverpool, but he knew
Yeah,
the
yeah.
weight that it bore if he wore it for NUFC. So
But-
these guys know the significance of the history
Hey,
behind
look-
the number.
yeah, but can I just pull you up on that one, Jeffo? Though, do you not think there's been lots of heroes that wore the red number 9 shirt? What's the difference? There isn't any, mate. There isn't none whatsoever. What all that is to me is it's a snide knockoff. It's like a case of that tells me that even when he was offered the number 9 shirt and he refused it, the interest in Newcastle had waned even back then for me. I think there was I think there's been an issue with Newcastle for Isak for a pretty long time. And I mean, you listen to some of the conversations now that you read about the stories that are starting to come out in all the presses now, which obviously they've had NDAs on for a long time. Here we go. What's Warren saying now? Asula, do me a favour. Go for Shola's job, mate. Yeah, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, I understand historically the number 9 shirt has always carried weight. It always will do at Newcastle. But like I said, just given those few names that I've just read out there wasn't really an iconic player wore it in the past. So why are we looking at Wissa and saying, is he fit? Is the name Wissa fit for the iconic number 9 shirt? I don't see it. I don't think there's any way behind it.
The point I was making was that it suggests that he will start.
Well, again, like I said, there's more weight to the number 9 shirt.
I've had to look.
I think you have to prove yourself.
I've had to look this up, by the way. Isak has said in the past, in his interview with Shearer, he said, "I'm quite happy with the number 14." His hero was Thierry Henry, which was Thierry Henry's number. And I've just had to look up who Liverpool's number 14 is. Do you know?
Chiesa?
Correct. So he's just signed and he's been given. So do they bring Isak in and say, you're taking his number?
We've
I don't know.
been known to happen before, but
Absolutely.
Well, it's certainly been done happen at the Toon once with Shearer and Ferdinand.
But now, listen, I am a little bit behind the signs here because I've been working for 12 hours solid and I've literally didn't finish till 8 o'clock tonight. So I haven't had a lot of chance to have a look at what's been in the chat. So what's all the situation now with Anthony Gordon? Can somebody fill me in? With Anthony Gordon and Botman, there's been some, obviously,
So
social media.
They both came out on X and said, good luck, well done, you've been a great teammate, and you're a great guy.
Oh, is that it?
So this goes back now to who was in the super chat? Bravo Mo, who's was in early
Yeah,
doors.
that's what I said. I didn't know anything about it. You see,
You
that's why I was
think we
asking you
will
guys.
trade Gordon and Botman after what they said about you? What did they say about Isak?
Well, that's what I'm
It's
saying. I'm
so-
asking you because I've heard nothing.
That is so bad. You know, they've said he was a great teammate, he did great for the squad, and Botman particularly referenced the fact that he was his best mate in the squad. So we suddenly turn against Botman and Gordon. I don't understand that at all.
Hold on,
the
let's have a
opposite
look
is-
at Chris's super chats. Chris has said, "Thanks for the $4.99, matey. Numbers matter everywhere. It's up to the club to make it worth something. Isak didn't wear it because he didn't want the responsibility.
That was exactly what he said to Shearer.
Yeah, well, like I said, I think in the olden times, I think it was more relevant. I don't think it's as many
times.
Well, it was like I said. We only had 1 to 11 on the park, and then you had number 12, 13, and 14 on the bench.
Yeah, but also in olden times, you didn't have squad numbers per se.
Well, you didn't have names on your shirt.
Whoever was picked that particular day got the shirt.
Got the shirt. That's what I'm saying. So you couldn't have your name to
Until
the
the
shirt.
Prem came along.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. So I think there's a lot of weight in it historically because of who has played in that shirt. But for me, it's a case of Voltemardo's got 27 because it's his mother's birthday. If he goes and bangs 25 goals in, do you care would you think I cared if he was wearing a number 9 or not?
Well,
To be fair, 2 and 7 make 9. Yay! There you go.
I can read you, going back to the Instagram post, I can read you what Anthony Gordon said. So there's literally a picture
Right.
with him and Gordon with their heads tucked into each other really closely.
Right.
And there's a love heart on it as well. And it says, regardless of the situation and what's gone on, it's been a pleasure to play with you. One of the best chemistries I've had on the pitch. And more importantly, a great person and teammate. I wish you nothing but the best, brother. Now, it looks like a reasonable, tight embrace. I think the thing there is about towing the line, isn't it? I think it's very evident that Eddie wasn't happy with him. I actually think probably the club didn't want to sell him, but Eddie has said, and rightfully so, I don't want him here. So let's just cash in now. And I respect that as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if within the dressing room there's been words said. I'm not saying the camp's divided, but it's very evident. It's quite coincidental that Willock is his mate. Willock hasn't been playing, there's a few loyalties there. And again, this isn't me.
Not because he's useless.
I'm on Eddie's side personally. If he has taken a strong stance against him, but I think you just have to know if the club has set the tone, doing a very blank and stoic message, not even referencing the cup final winning goal. No. It tells you where the club's line is. So behind the closed doors, it should be the right guys. This is, the club's stance. Let's draw a line under it and move on. So you kind of then doing public posts when you can text somebody in private is you indicating, well, this is where I stand, in my opinion.
Yeah, but didn't
look at that.
One of the journos. Thank you, Olasula. Thank you again. He moved from 17k to 120k and moved from a regular player to a superstar playing for us. Yeah, can't fault that.
We made him not the other way around, and he will make and will make others. Could he have become this? Oh, I'm not sure what that means.
Just going back to what Jefferson said, I think the optics isn't great because there's a lot of hurt, a lot of anger, and I think players coming out and publicly thanking him when he didn't even acknowledge Newcastle. Did you see his Liverpool promotional video? He didn't even mention Eddie Howe. He didn't mention Newcastle by name. So it was clear that he was disrespecting even at the point where he signed for Liverpool. And then you've got the next day players coming out and congratulating him and thanking him. I mean, like I said, Jefferson, I agree with Jefferson. They could have just given him a call. Why do they have to make a public post? And that suggests to me there is some division in the team. Yeah. And when I was saying that he could be reintegrated, I think he has mates who would have welcomed him back.
I'll say two things on that. First of all, Chris, optics, man, what players can't be that thick So what's the Chris saying? How are you, man?
On man.
How are you, man?
Yeah, yeah, but we're going back to what Craig Hope said, in one of his reads.
No, because the point I was going to make was everybody's coming out with this assumption, and I call it an assumption, that from the question that Craig Hope asked at the press conference, which was, what would be your preference? And Eddie's answer to that was, I know my preference, but it's not up to me. It's up to the powers that be.
Can I just make
And loads of people interpreted that as being saying, I want him gone, but PIF are saying he's definitely staying, he's going nowhere. I interpreted that completely the opposite way. My interpretation was Eddie saying, I know what I want. And my interpretation is, I want Isak to stay and be reintegrated. But I do, and maybe he knew then already that the deal had been done and he was going, but that's not up to me. And
I interpreted it the opposite way, because he said I haven't spoken to him for 2 weeks, and if you see his last press conference, you could see he was fed up. He was fed up. I think PIF
totally
wanted
fed
to
up.
keep
I'm
him,
not
but Eddie wanted
disputing
to
that.
get rid of him. That's my interpretation.
No, I like I say, I think he
I don't know.
he wanted him.
just going back to the question on the tweets that the two lads sent from Newcastle. I've got 2 points on this. The first one is, why didn't they just do them privately?
Exactly.
There's no need to put them out there. And secondly, should Newcastle not have, I'm guessing the bigger clubs do this, have something written in their contract where if they're going to put a tweet or anything out about the club, they have to run it by the press team?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a lot of like DNA stuff regarding when you're looking at it. It has got to go through the right channels, if you like, before they allow it to go. But again, I go back to
What I would
Eddie
say in
Howe.
that regard
Hold
is,
on one. Let me just go back to, because you made the point about Craig Hope.
yeah,
Remember when Craig Hope put the thing in the paper about there's a potential split in the camp?
Yeah.
And then obviously Eddie Howe was talking about he doesn't want a player that doesn't want to play in the club anywhere near
correct.
the team, right? And again, if you go back to Tino, he's got his conversation and his interview. Eddie Howe was quite adamant within the dressing room that there was no conversation whatsoever. Now, again, he made sure that Isak trained after all the lads had disappeared.
Yeah.
And even to the point where they had the family day. Again, he told Isak to stay away until the families had gone. So there was no way of these boys saying they're good boys, if that makes any sense. So to do it privately, like you've just said, you can't tell me that these guys haven't got each other's numbers, because we all know that's BS. So is this, again, these boys, and again we go back to the Craig Hope, there was a split in the dressing room.
Yeah.
Is this just that split in the dressing room by these boys coming out there and saying, you know what, I am going to show a little bit of solidarity towards the lad who's been abused for the last 7 weeks?
But by the way, guys, I don't know if you paid attention to his interview yesterday, Isak. He said he was restricted from training. Did you hear that?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That suggests to me Eddie didn't allow.
I haven't
him to
even
train
watched
with the
it. There you go, and that's the honest truth.
Sorry?
I haven't even. I cannot be bothered with him now. I haven't even watched it.
Okay, but he said that he was restricted from training with the group, and he's looking forward to actually getting back to training, which to me suggests that Eddie is the one who refused him to train with the group.
Well, he did.
Let's get Warren Dinnan super chatting. Warren, thank you very much. And he's talking to all the school. He says, do you think we missed out on Elliot? I assume is he talking about Harvey Elliott or Elliot Anderson? I assume it's Harvey Elliott, because I think we probably or possibly did miss a trick in not maybe getting a Harvey Elliott as part of the deal.
Or
I'm-
Mamadaashvili, in my
But as
opinion.
regard
well.
the, just to go back to the tweets, as regard the tweets, because I made a note here, as regards the tweets and having to clear stuff with the club PR, has the club got a PR department?
They must have, surely.
they
Well, I
have,
tell
yeah.
you what it is. It was non-existent
Yeah.
for the whole of the window. The PR from the club was utter. Well, it was just non-existent. It was garbage.
But
For me, it's
but
act of defiance because you got all these love hearts and stuff as
I
well
know, yeah.
in the
But
messages,
guys,
and the pictures are like they're embracing the players. One of them is, I think, Botman. They're like about to shake hands, and the Gordon one, they're literally hugging, and there's love hearts in there. What's going on? What kind of
and
loyalty
guys,
do you have to our
what,
club?
And by the
what
way,
about Eddie what about Eddie Howe's authority then? I mean, like, did they run it by him that we're gonna put these tweets out? Because by all intents and purposes, it means Eddie isn't really in control.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know. But one of the criticisms I saw, which I laughed at, of both the tweets, was not only were the hearts, but there were red hearts.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
How weird, man! What are that
And-
colour heart?
and-
Is that
and
when
by-
you're sending
Gone.
it?
Get Gordon gone because he's rubbish anyway. He's actually rubbish.
And by the way,
He's
guys,
perfect.
they liked his picture with the number 9 Liverpool shirt. I don't know if you noticed that.
Botman,
Yeah,
I
well,
thought Botman
well, there
liked
was
it.
a couple that come in and shared the like, didn't they?
Because they're his
Players,
pals.
yeah, players that have also left us, mate. You know, they've gone to pastures
Longstaff,
new.
Longstaff.
Well, again, you know, you look at you've just mentioned a name there. You know, it's like sometimes you've seen in the past where players have gone onto others, and the great one was Schmeichel. Remember when Schmeichel went from Man U to Man City, and they all lined up in the tunnel, and it was, you know, he was shaking hands with certain individuals. But there was others that just completely miffed him. Now, you know, I'm sure there's people out there that were also a little bit upset when the lads were all huddled around Longstaff against Leeds on Saturday evening. You know, and you know, listen, you're never going to lose that camaraderie. You know, I've left buildings in the past where I haven't quite hit the ground running. I just didn't feel comfortable for whatever reason. Certain individuals I always give the time of day to. Certain individuals I wouldn't. But I would always make sure that that person, if I was to see him again, I wouldn't just dismiss. You know, I'd always try and be the gentleman and have a conversation, even though maybe during my professional career it didn't quite go as planned. So I do find maybe I think that for me it's probably come at the wrong time. I think there's
Yes,
far
yeah.
too much
Harry,
tension
Harry.
and tension in the air.
Andrew Barwick, Gordon wants Liverpool. He's
let him
keeping
go.
things sweet.
Let him go.
Listen,
Let him go.
Yeah.
Let him go.
To be honest,
I think
guys,
that
I'm,
is
I'm really
so-
annoyed with.
Not
So-
good
really
enough.
annoyed
Hold
with
on,
Anyway.
Gordon.
one of you, because everybody's shouting at each other, and all
I
we
was
do is
just
get
gonna
muddled.
last point. I'm really annoyed with Gordon because he cost us. He got a red card, got missing 3 matches, and then he's putting tweets out against the person who abandoned our club and didn't train and cost us points. So he's putting salt on the wounds.
Yeah, that's
from
what I
my
said. It's come at
perspective.
the wrong time.
Keeping it zipped of all
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
But
he
I
should be the
was
one
gonna
backing up.
say, I will defend Eddie on the basis to say he is actually quite reasonable, because if you look at when John Joe Shelvey left, he let John Joe Shelvey come into the dressing room, get involved with the team even after
Yeah.
he left. And
Yeah.
I'm sure, was it after Chris Wood left? Chris
Woods,
Wood,
yeah.
he let Wood get involved with team celebrations and stuff like that. So, you know, it's not like Eddie is unreasonable. And if he has tried to protect the team from a toxic influence, I can understand that. The boys not towing the line, that's a bad thing. And there has to be some kind of repercussion and punishment, because I know I keep saying don't go back to the olden days, but if you look at Alex Ferguson, and people might have thought it was quite harsh, there was the comments that Keane made, and
Yeah.
he sold him. Yapstam doing the book, he sold him.
Sold
You
it.
know,
Yeah,
it doesn't
exactly.
matter how good you are on the pitch.
David
Not
Beckham.
on the line,
David
you've got to
Beckham.
go. Beckham as well. So
Yeah, I mean,
Eddie's
we all
got
know
to do
Gordon's a Liverpool fan, don't we?
Listen,
No, that's the
we've-
problem.
We've got Warren going a £5 super chat in. Sorry, didn't mean to address it. That was his last question to Olasula. but it's only because you're a bunch of knackers.
He's been in the old ales, isn't he?
I think you mean the
Yeah.
useful.
Yeah,
Boki,
crazy.
what's your opinion about the tweets?
Me.
Bookie.
Yeah, Bokeh.
Yeah.
I've
Wake
already.
up, Boki,
As I
wake
said,
up.
I think there should have been. I don't think there should have been tweets. There should have been private messages.
Yeah.
And as I say, if Newcastle are a big club now, they need to have control of the two players over social medias. I think you wouldn't get this from a big club in regards to that.
Well, I agree with that. But hey, man, I've put red hearts on your messages and on Jeffo's messages. And, what does that mean?
But they didn't refuse to train, or they didn't refuse to
Firstly,
work.
that's a private win. So,
Yeah, true.
But the point is,
You're
they're
welcome
not,
to do
they're
it
not,
on social media if you won't win.
they're
I'd
not
love that.
private. Everybody in the forum seen them. Everybody,
not the private
No.
messages between them, they haven't.
I don't think I've ever given it. Maybe I don't actually.
I think
Because
I
I
read-
don't, it's just a thing, isn't it? It means nothing, man.
But it doesn't, as I said, as a club, we should be control. We shouldn't be having this discussion. Basically, is what I'm saying. The lads should have messaged them privately. Why they went on social media to do that? What does it actually do for anybody?
Yeah, that's what I said. It's come too soon, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Was it legit, the Bruno thing? I think I saw, was it Magpie Media posted something saying that Bruno was going to do some kind of presentation when he got home from Brazil or something. Is
There you
that
go.
true?
It's on the screen now.
Oh, okay.
According to very reliable sources, after the Leeds game, Bruno asked Eddie Howe if he could lead a meeting with the full squad following the international break. His plan is to deliver a presentation about what he truly means to be a Newcastle United player. Bruno believes it's his duty as captain to remind everyone of the standards, values and pride that comes with wearing a black and white shirt. When he returns to the UK, he'll stand in front of the whole group and deliver it himself. This is leadership on another level. Bruno isn't just a world-class midfielder. He's embracing the responsibility of guiding the dressing room and setting the tone for the future. Here.
And
I don't think that's anything new, though. If you watch the documentary and things, they all seem to do little presentations and talk.
Oh, they do the 10 minutes, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, they do the 10 minutes. So, I mean, it's great that he's stepping up to the plate to do that. But as I said, I think it's something that naturally happens in the club. I think it's something Eddie that's a good point about Eddie, is that he encourages that sort of thing. So every player gets to know what every other player thinks.
But that's certainly something that message you've just shown there, which I wholeheartedly applaud, was done on social media. Did he have to have that cleared by the club PR before he did it? No, that's just it's spontaneous.
I don't think it was Bruno that put the message out. If I'm reading it right, or was it?
No.
No,
But
it
I mean,
wasn't Bruno.
So you can't blame the club for a message coming out from a different source. It's when it's our players that are putting the message out.
yeah, exactly.
We're didn't saying bogey. Win and bogey are a thing. How
Sweet
sweet.
wins the wedding.
Well, I've seen Win when he got married the other day on
You're
the.
going to say.
Went to the wedding.
He's still got his wig. I'll tell you now. He's waiting. He's waiting for him, man.
Still
In
got
no
the
wig
different
there,
one.
that was all main body, lad.
I mean, listen. You know, I looked at the Wisser interview, and I must admit, I was quite enthralled to see what the lad was to bring. You know, the way he mentioned stuff, right? The way he mentioned about it's going to be quick, it's going to be pacey, and I need to step up. You know what I mean? So the words that he was saying, he understands the pressure of what is needed to be done at Newcastle United. And I think when you look on the other side of the interview, I honestly God thought that somebody, I mean, it looked like he was wearing a shirt that was too big for him, trainers that he got from, I don't know, Pound Stretcher. And to be fair, I was expecting somebody from Liverpool to plug him into the electric because he needed recharging. It was so mundane,
Yeah.
for a lad who was so desperate to bugger off to Liverpool. It
Yeah.
was absolutely so monotone. So, well, yeah, I'm really excited about coming here. You didn't realise Isak was a Brummie, did you? So, you get to that point where you think, why have you acted this way if that's your enthusiasm? Because it was exactly the same at Newcastle when he had his interview at Newcastle. There's no feeling with Isak. There's no love or desire for any colour that he wears, none whatsoever. And like I said, I can't wait for the day where this goes full circle and bites these buggers on the back. Foxy's got a good point now. Big season for Gordon. Hasn't done? Hasn't he done and something like 15 games now without a goal contribution? Not good enough, especially with
21
his
games,
recent
isn't
new
it?
contract. I was going to say I thought it was more than that. Need to see a big improvement after his ban. And again, we keep going. Now that leads me on to this next part of the show. And again, we've been an hour, but I've read, and again, that's what filled the void when I actually finish work and come online, because there's obviously this conspiracy thing now about Isak potentially throwing matches. Again, that's what's out there, and I wanted to get your feeling on this because, like I say, somebody's highlighted quite happily and again they say this is literally match fixing, and Luke Edwards has made a report. Some insiders suggested from April onwards Isak was behaving and playing like someone who did not want the team to qualify for the Champions League, as he knew it would make it harder for him to explain to Howe and the supporters why he wanted to go. And apparently there's a leak come out, and again I don't know how true it is because again you only read through it, but the report says that Eddie Howe had seen a dramatic change in his training, in his behaviour, in and amongst the training ground, where he didn't want to get involved with anything, didn't want to feel as though he was part of the team, and seemed a little bit offish to the lads. And we questioned Isak before the start of the season. Apparently, after the conversation that he'd had with Eddie Howe, and obviously towards the end of the season, where again the performances actually dropped off to the point where he was virtually invisible on the park. And again, there's some highlights that are out there when you look at some of his misses, where he was literally from 6 to 7 yards out. Now I look back on it, is there any value to what's being stated there, or is it? Do you think it's just Newcastle fans just trying to throw more crap after crap type of thing?
Well, I'm not pulling up the channel, and I won't say I told you so, but if you remember,
You told us so.
I told you so when I reported on the alleged conversation between Callum Wilson and Shea Given at the Club World Cup, when Callum had said that this coincided with the Craig Hope split the dressing room bit, that Callum, on behalf of the leadership group, had gone to Eddie during the season after the cup final and said, look, he's not trying a leg in training. Why are you picking him? Because Callum Wilson wanted to be picked. And he's saying, why are you still picking him when he's not trying a leg in training? You always tell us that if you're not trying a leg, you don't play on a Saturday. And Eddie allegedly turned round to Callum and said, if I drop Isak and put you in, I will be crucified. And I said that on the show at the time, and do I believe it happened? I think quite possibly it
Win,
did.
do you think he means crucified by the club or crucified by the fans?
By the fans.
Interesting. I'm just thinking on the basis that.
Can you imagine what you would have been saying if he dropped Isak?
Oh yeah, I would have been like,
Everybody
what's going
would
on?
have.
Because remember,
Yeah.
we were in the dark. They were doing that whole he had the
Yeah,
injury thing.
Yeah,
But I'm
exactly.
just thinking about maybe the club as well. Because if it's evident that the club wanted to keep him and he wanted to sell him, maybe he thought his neck was on the line in terms of his job as well.
No, I don't.
Because remember, he's got a really tight relationship with Callum Wilson. If anything, he showed Wilson a lot of kindness, keeping him on as long as he did. So I think there's something in there about the club as well.
I also read, I don't know if you guys read that apparently Eddie had a conversation with Isak in September 2024 because he wasn't happy with his training and his performance, and you had to encourage him to improve. But then there's a question mark about why Eddie didn't drop him then. Is he scared of what the
Repercussions
reaction
of
fans
the
would be?
yeah. That's
So-
that's
but
exactly
then-
what there was. The conversation is,
Yeah.
and again, Wynn had first-hand, if you like,
Yeah.
but it class it as first-hand information from somebody who was chatting to the players that were involved with Isak at the time. So again, go on then, mate. I'll let you do this one
Warren
because
Son, you're unfair tonight. Thank
He
you very
is.
much. Magnanimously true. He wasn't interested. And anybody who watched those last 7 games could really say that.
I think,
And it was blamed on the groin and
we'll have to be really careful in regards to this, and that saying that he wasn't interested is different than saying he threw games forward. I don't believe he's through any games. I think that's a load of nonsense.
yeah, I agree.
What was his heart in it with Newcastle towards the end?
Was his head in it? Yeah,
Did you see the
Was his
video
head not?
montage?
Probably not.
Did you see the video montage?
yeah. That's well. I'm watching it now while
I
I'm
mean,
looking at you
come
guys.
on.
I mean, there's some sitters there that he completely missed, isn't
Yeah.
there?
Come on.
But the penalty against Brighton in the 89th minute, he scored that. He could have missed that.
Yeah,
That was a crucial.
that's what I'm saying. I think that there's a difference when you put that. I mean, somebody from Liverpool there has just put up like Alexander Isak's agents looking into the the law side of it.
Legal, yeah.
And I've also read while I was waiting for the show to start that Newcastle are also.
I was
looking.
I was going to bring that up later on, but and I thought that Omar might have known something about that because apparently PIF now that he's gone, are definitely looking at the legal options for the tapping up
Yes.
aspect of the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
And I think that Alan's hit the nail on the head.
To be
Not to lose
continued.
games, but seem to do his best not to score, type of thing. Had the motivation. If we finished outside the top 10, he gets the move a lot
Absolutely.
easier, which I
mean,
think
it's
has come
easy
out
to-
now.
It's easy to speculate that, but
Of course, it is absolutely. But I mean, it just seems as though there's no
Impossible to
smoke without
prove.
fire. You'll
I
never
think-
prove it.
And I think it's a hell of a slur as well. I mean, we all have a particular dislike for Isak, and everybody is obviously really, really mad with the way he treated the club and the way he treated us guys, the fans. But I don't think we can accuse him of throwing games unless there's actual proof there.
No.
Watching him miss chances. I mean, if you put any striker up, you can watch them miss chances.
Of course you can.
It's
That
a real-
was
Loki's
always
afraid
my
of
worry.
it's a really dangerous ground to go down.
That was always my worry about him being reintegrated. All he had to do was, miss a chance, which all forwards do, and it would have been, he doesn't want to be here, doesn't want to be here.
Don't worry, there's legal aid as part of NUFC
But-
Talk TV. Don't
but-
worry, mate. Isn't that
the
right,
guy-
Chris? Isn't that right?
But guys, like if he was underperforming and not training properly, and Eddie is scared of the reaction of the fans, then is he an elite manager? Why did he not drop him?
Win.
That's
That's an absolutely fair question to ask. The one reason I don't think they refused to drop him was because Eddie was frightened about losing his job.
But then he's not an elite manager if he's frightened of losing his job, and he's compromising on the quality of the players. They're not working hard enough.
It depends on what he was thinking, what Eddie was thinking in his own mind at the time. Is he not trying because he wants us to lose points? Because I'm absolutely sure if he thought that for 1 second, Isak would not have been starting, and to hell with the consequences.
But he wasn't training properly. That's what the reports are. He wasn't.
Yeah, that's what Callum alleged.
So why was he picked then? Why was he selected?
yeah, because that was Eddie's always go-to, isn't it? Whenever you see the presser,
Because the alternative was Wilson or Asula.
Yeah, but like Mourinho, that means, for example, Mourinho or Pep, they wouldn't tolerate somebody who's not training properly and still pick him. Boki, what do you think?
It's a fair comment.
100%.
An absolutely fair comment.
I think with Howe, if it seriously is the case that he didn't pick that didn't drop that lad, and he knew he wasn't trying and trading, then Howe needs to go for me for that alone. You'd never ever allow a poor. You'd never ever allow a poor.
No more red hearts from me for you.
You'd never ever allow a poor player to stay in a team. If he's not training, it just shows so much disrespect. Sorry, if he's not training well, it just shows so much disrespect to the rest of the squad.
And by all accounts, I don't know how you would say it openly, but noticeably, shall we say, sufficiently noticeable for certain members of the squad to
complain. Yeah.
So if Eddie's got this great relationship with everybody in the squad, why hasn't he listened to them? If that is the case,
like I say, which I've said throughout the whole saga, and I don't want to talk about him anymore. But I just think Eddie thought he could turn him around.
Do you think that's why we signed Elanga as well? Partially. I think so, a little bit.
possible, isn't it?
yeah.
He thought, if your mate arrives, you're more likely
Well,
to
there you
stay.
go. Whatever. There's a million possible reasons, but I'm sick of talking about him, man. He's gone. Good riddance.
But
we're talking about Eddie Howe. We're not talking
the window, right?
What are we giving him airtime for, man?
But the window, when you think about the window, obviously you've had all this dirty laundry playing out in public. There's jibs and jabs dripping out now. I think it was an absolute PR disaster. And if you
Correct.
are in denial of that, you've absolutely got your blinkers on. In that respect, it was an awful summer. I think we managed to rectify it a little bit with some of the signings. But for me, again, you can't say it's an excellent window because that's without looking into the whole overspending stuff as well. I'm talking about our reputation. And I think a little bit of my depression was like, because you guys know me, I'm quite an ambitious person. I want us to be up there. I want us to be competing. I want us to keep pushing. But I had a little chat with AC offline, and there was that almost realization from both of us that maybe we might have to be acceptant of where we are in the food chain. We're not as big as we want to be, or some of us think we are. Unfortunately, right now,
You've had a big dose of reality.
It's a harsh reality check. It was like a sucker punch, because when you think about when growing up, seeing us challenging, seeing us be up there, and then we knew what happened in that sort of frozen time frame of what happened with Ashley. That's still in our hearts, that we feel we should be there. That was taken away from us. But maybe there is that realization of where everyone else sees us, because unfortunately, guys, we were Rejection FC. And that's why I big up to Voltamada and players like that who have been brave enough to say, you know what, I'm not going to reject you guys. I'm going to go here. I think you guys are a great club. But I think we've got some way to go and maybe a few windows and seasons to go to build our reputation up. And that is where the pressure comes for Eddie, because 7th isn't acceptable. Even to an extent, maybe even 6th and 5th is not acceptable.
And Baltimore, Warren Dinning back in again with another shortcher. Thank you, Warren.
Until we're
Baltimore
a
looks
side,
magical.
until we're a regular Champions League side, we're going to be deemed to be lower in the food chain, unfortunately, because you've got a generation of younger players growing up who some of them have just about seen Man United still be the most successful, but the rest have seen Chelsea and City. They don't know about our greater years. So they're like, Newcastle, who's Newcastle?
Yeah.
So until we
Right.
get...
So what I would say to you, Jeffo, is, the Shearer era.
Right.
This is when you became a Newcastle fan, correct?
Before Shearer. 95, I was a fan.
Right, okay, so the entertainers anyway. Keegan era.
Yeah.
That's Borky's era as well. This, to me, is why you have got the skewed attitude of where we are, who we are, and where we should be, because that entertainers era was but a tiny fraction of our post-war history. The Ashley era, by far and away, represented the previous McKeague era, Westwood era. The only time we had an ambitious chairman and board of directors was under John Hall. And at the time you were on about, when we were at the top of the tree fighting, doing everything great, as you said, we were the top spenders. We broke the world transfer record. That was when we were there. We ain't there anymore. And this is why you need to get this reality, because since the Premiership was formed and became this global phenomenon, which it is, other teams have got all the limelight and got all the money and got everything to go with it, with the exception of Man City and Chelsea, who came along and with unfettered spending were able to do what we have been prevented from doing.
Right then, guys, I'm just going to stop you there because, if I'm honest with you, I'll get to that point now where the past is the past, and we need to move on. Right, we've got a new squad, we've got a new set of players coming into the realm, and what I was going to say to you guys, you're Eddie Howe. I want you to, you've got all your group of coaches behind you, your assistant managers. Who do you pick then to play against Wolves? So, who's going to be in goal amongst yourselves? Let's have a look. Who are we picking?
Ramsdale?
Is it what Eddie will pick, or is who we would want to pick?
I've just said you're Eddie. This is where you get free reign against Wolves. Who are you going to pick in? And tell me your reasons why.
Well, Ramsdale for me in goal.
For me, Ramsdale as well.
Ramsdale.
So that's 3. I would imagine, Jeffo, you're a Ramsey. Yeah, okay.
He's finished, mate.
And I would imagine you're going for Ramsdale because he's better with his feet. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, and he dives. He dives.
Right.
But Pope's lost the ability to dive at the moment. So.
He can dive to his left, Jeff, as it's the right. That's the major problem.
Yeah, well, there is that as well. I'm just going to take the chat out to a degree, just see if I can put the whole screen on. Queenie Babes, I've got Tandoori King Prawn Balti, says.
Oh, they must be having a set.
I'll tell you something.
But Warren, I'm jealous.
Jealous ain't the word, man.
Just on goalkeepers, guys. Why didn't we go for Edison?
I have no idea.
I mean, he's Fenerbahce, 10 million.
Yeah, Edison. I know. It's mental, isn't it? What was it? Was it to do with wages? I don't know.
200. I was going to say 250 grand a week.
Yeah, but 10 million.
And Mamadashvili, we could have made him part of the Isak deal because at the moment he's their number 2. He's not playing. He
Yeah,
was
yeah.
one of our targets.
But then at that time we didn't know we were going to be selling Isak.
I'm not sure about that one, Win.
Oh,
If I'm honest with you now.
Yeah.
Come on then. Let you guys are a bit slow on the uptake. You've all been
Livramento,
playing right back or left back.
right back, Hall left back.
So you want Hall in at left back, okay?
Any
you guys go
dissenting
there.
voices from Livramento and Hall?
Right. Anybody disagree with that?
The only person that would dissent is Eddie Howe.
Who's your two centre backs?
Chow and Burn.
Chow
Botman.
and Burn for me.
Chow and Burn.
That's 3 out of okay. So
Even though
Burn it
Botman was
is.
probably our best defender last week, but after his bloody tweeting, forget it, mate. I don't want to see him near the team.
Right. Okay. So that's your back four. What formation you going? You're going to go with the 2 or a 3 in midfield?
It'll be 3.
Well, 4,
You're going to be
2,
3.
1, whichever.
Okay.
Midfield.
So who's your midfielders, lads? And where do you play them?
Pick
Tonali
that
number 6.
You're going to throw Tonali in 6.
Good. Bruno number 8. On the
Bruno
right.
is your 8.
Ramsey still injured, right?
Well, he's got a swell into his ankle.
Joe Linton.
We have
Joe
no
Linton.
idea.
Is he still injured as well, isn't he?
You'd throw Big Joe in.
No, I
Is
think
he-
Joe's
is he-
back after the internationals.
Or is he
Jeff.
back? Okay.
Where would you play him?
Yeah, number well, on the left.
In between?
On the left.
Would he?
Left of
Would he
midfield,
be fit? Would he be fit though?
Oh, that's the
That's the thing. You wouldn't chuck him in because the reason I'm saying that is because Wolves, if you remember last time particularly, I don't think they've still got Lamina anymore, but they still got João Gomez and Andre, and on their day they will give our midfield their match and match for our midfield. They're very good, both of those two Brazilian boys. So I don't know. Maybe I would go for Willock rather than Joe Linton on the basis I don't think Joe Linton would be fit, recovering from injury. I doubt he'd be fit. He'll be all strapped up. He'll probably be out of puff and last about 60 minutes.
So can we all agree on
it's
Tonali and
majority.
Tonali and
It's the majority. Who says Joe Linton out of you guys?
Yeah.
If
One,
he's
two.
fit, Joe Linton.
Yeah, well, listen. I mean, if he ain't in, he ain't in. This is your strongest squad you're putting out there.
What I'm saying though, Gary, is do we all agree on Tonali and Bruno?
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And I
So
think if Joe
the
Linton
tier 7 position
the
depends upon
And you've
fitness
got
and stuff.
Ramsey or Willock can go in there if you want them.
If
Or
Ramsey's fit, I
Bailey.
would play Ramsey because we need.
Yeah.
I think we need more of an attacking midfield option. But obviously, if J7's fit, then he can play, and hopefully Bruno can be the one that gets further
Get
forward.
further forward, yeah. So who's on the left hand side?
Well,
Barnes.
for me, it's J7 or Maley. If Ramsey and J7 aren't fit, I've got Maley in front of Willock every day of the week.
No, but we putting J7 in. I'm on about who's on the left hand side
We
here.
moved on from that.
All
win.
right.
Who's on the left hand side?
Bonds.
You'd go with Barnes.
Gordon for me.
Got happy.
Gordon's
memories.
suspended.
Of course, Gordon's suspended. I beg your pardon.
Got happy memories of last year. Wolves v Newcastle. It was my birthday, and Barnes scored an absolute smasher. So
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Wolves again around a similar time.
Yeah, absolutely. Got us the points in the end, didn't he?
Did.
On the right hand side, Elanga.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll definitely go longer on the right.
Okay.
But
And what about
I
your
would tend to go
centre forward?
Voltemata on the left and Wissa up front.
Do you think he might do a mad one and put Visser on the right and Voltemada through the middle?
Possible.
No.
Because
Possible.
if you look at, I don't know how Brentford have lined up, but if you look at some of his positions from his goal, some of them have come from a wide position or his link up. The recent montage at Sky.
Yeah, but mainly from the left, though.
Okay, from the left side.
Because Mbeumo was virtually ever present last season.
Yeah.
On the right.
I think if he grows a pair, he drops Joe Linton, puts the Wolf up front, and sticks. Puts the Wolf better number 10 and Wissa up front.
Yeah.
So you'll be happy to go with a double pivot.
Well, a 4-4-1-1.
Well,
Yeah,
4-2-4 is what you're suggesting.
Well, if you play number 10, it's debatable. But yeah, for 4-4-2, basically.
So that would be your guys' starting lineup then.
I would play Vissa and
Well,
Baltimore.
I wouldn't have Harvey Barnes in, to be fair. I would have Voldemada and Wissa.
Has Vissa
me
been
too.
training? Has Vissa actually been training?
Vissa, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
he was training. Brentford.
Yeah, he's
he's
just not
away-
being picked.
He's away with the Congo now, so
He was training with Brentford.
Yeah.
I think there's
And
a
he's
chance
playing.
Vissa plays, you know.
playing for the
Yeah.
Congo.
If
Like I
anything,
say, don't-
he because on the basis that Vissa's a 9 and he's Premier League proven, if anything, I think he starts Vissa over Voltemada, and Eddie.
I would play both. Both. It's our if it's
The,
up to me.
the only question about playing Vissa for me is that is he similar to Isak going to Liverpool now? Said his name again. He's done no training, had no games under his belt. Walter Morris had league games under his belt. For God's
No, but
sake.
Vissa has been training.
Yeah, but he hadn't been playing. There's a
He's
big
going to be
difference.
playing international.
And that's why I'm saying I think he should be match fit after playing 2 games for the
Exactly.
Congo.
Yeah. We're playing at home against Wolves. We need to make a statement. I would play both.
Yeah, so would I.
Can I quickly whip through this and just say what I think Eddie will actually do? It'll be Pope in goal. He trips at right back. Tino will be left back. Be Shaw and Burn at the back. Midfield will be what we've said there. It'll be the 2 wingers, and it'll be Wissa up front.
Because he's Premier League proven, that's what he'll do, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
Julie clipped Bogey.
I would like us to be more daring, if you like.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
I would drop these. I would drop Ilanga, and I would bring in. I know this is going to upset a few, and I'd put Jacob Murphy in.
I wouldn't be upset with that at all.
And the only reason I say this is you get the double pivot in midfield. It'd be more of a progressive play. It won't be gung ho because of Gordon being missing. Barnes isn't going to be able to press like Anthony Gordon is, so it's not going to be all out pressing. I think when we have the delivery of the ball, you're going to see a lot of movement from your wings going forward, doubling up on their fullbacks, which will in turn change formation for Wolves. You get your double pivot from Bruno and Tonali. Hopefully, you'll get Voltemada picking up the space, and you're becoming this 4-1-4-1 formation at times where you can play the triangles into these pockets of space. And then
Warren is saying, in my opinion, I reckon Wolfie is a replacement, and I assume that means J7.
Nah.
I can't quite say, but I can see Wolfie playing on the left.
Yeah. Can I just say, do we need, if we've got the speed in the back 4 now, do we particularly need to Tonali to play so deep all the time?
Well, that's what I said. You've got the double. Yeah, you've got the double pivot as well, haven't you? If you wanted it,
I think Tonali's wasted as the base of a diamond or as a 6.
But that's what I'm saying. If you look at Voltemada playing here, right, you have potentially, because what Eddie likes is whoever's playing left back to drop into the 6 into this position here. So you have got an actual perfect diamond. The only problem I have is like Tino sometimes when he's playing in that deeper role where he's not actually attacking, sometimes switches off. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when Dan Burn steps across, everybody steps across one. This to me becomes the vulnerable point because there's far too much or far too many times where the ball's dropped into these areas and we've been on the turn. But I like the fact that you could play the diamond with Voltemada as the 10, dropping into a high 8, if you like. And then even having the likes of Bruno going past him, so for me, what I like about this now is the fact that you've got so many options. You know what I mean? Yeah. You've got so many options. And that's what I said. I can't see Voltemada starting, but he's certainly somebody that you've got in the locker if you want to change the game up.
I'm shocked, Gary, that Eddie has never experimented with Lewis Hall as left central midfield, because that's where he started out at Chelsea before Graham Potter converted him to a fullback.
To fullback, yeah, exactly.
And was it last pre-season or the pre-season before? It's all blending into one. There were pre-season games where he was coming into the midfield and spraying balls and passing balls. So, I'm shocked. Generally, we've not really tried Lewis Hall there, because he does strike me as quite a sort of Philip Lamy sort of type.
You've seen it
player,
with Tino. When Tino plays left back, he slots into the inside left position and he sits and hovers in this area here. And then he'll try and play the diamond with Harvey Barnes, because, again, we know Harvey Barnes hasn't got the pace to beat the fullback. Zoboslai looks an absolute worldie against him. And that, you're absolutely right. I think there's an option here, again, you ask yourself, like I say, for me going forward, if Hall is fit, I think he starts definitely in that position, because, again, what we've been lacking in previous games, in the first 3 games, is not only have we been lacking a centre forward, but we've also been lacking a little bit of quality, that final third, composure, to deliver the ball in the right areas into the box. So for me, it's a case of, now you've got elements, and that's why I've gone for Murphy over Ilanga. It's got nothing to do with pace. It's all about the build-up play and everything else, and delivery of the ball. Even though, to be fair, I have been really... I haven't had my frock blown up by Jacob Murphy as of yet this season with some of his deliveries. So what I like about this team now, when you look at the lads that can actually come on and do something for you, you look at the whole squad. Ramsey, if you play your natural 4-3-3, right? Just go back to your 4-3-3, your natural formation, which we all know Eddie Howe likes. I'm going to take him out the squad a little bit. Go back to your 4-3-3 as you would, and now look at the players that are vying for the same shirt. And we all know, going back to our defence, Botman, absolutely bang on for me to come in and take Dan Burn if he needs to and change it up. Bless him, you've got Lascelles that could come and do a job on the right-hand side. But again, look at the overload now we've got at the back, where, last couple of games, we've been saying who's coming on at centre-half if we need to. There's so much choice now, and with a little bit of quality coming behind them. If you started Malik Chow, Dan Burn, Botman, whoever, there's quality on the floor, there's quality in the air. Even Emil Kraft, coming in and supporting the role at right back. Because again, we all know that Trippier hasn't had the best couple of games. But again, when you look at the numbers, when you start piling the numbers next to each other, with what you've got now in place regarding the squad, the only position that worries me when it comes to areas of concern is Bruno. Because if Tonali gets injured, Bruno drops in, right? And the only other player we've got that is alike to any of these two is Miley. So Miley's literally...
Don't sound so disheartened, man, Jeff.
That's what's about Miley, though. No, I love Miley. I've argued for him. He's one of my favourite players, and I actually think he's another unfortunate casualty of our current manager and his rigid formation. And that's nothing personal. I'm talking about, we've seen Elliot Anderson suffer. He doesn't know how to use these players that are very creative and have quite a toolbox.
Okay, so you're bringing Elliot Anderson. Would you have played Elliot Anderson in front of Bruno?
I would have sold Gordon.
What's that going to do with Elliot Anderson?
Because you keep Anderson and Minter. I would have sold Gordon.
But if you look at
Elliot Anderson now, he's now going to about in England international. And
that's what I'm saying.
He wouldn't have been if he'd been at Newcastle.
No. But what I'm saying is Eddie didn't know how to use him. He was using him left central midfield. He was using him as a left winger. Do
you agree that Elliot Anderson is a midfielder?
I think he's a 10. Actually, even for Forest, I think he's used a bit too defensively. But for me, Lewis Miley,
is he a left winger?
He's not a left winger.
Exactly.
Eddie's played him there though. That's what I mean. He doesn't know how to use these players. The same with Miley. Miley's really creative, actually. Miley reminds me a bit of how Tony Kroos was at Bayern Munich. They didn't know how to use him, right? And then you become a utility player and you become surplus to requirements, or people don't think you're as good. Your star's not shining. And once he went to Real Madrid, he excelled because they found the correct role for him. And if we look at Lewis Miley, he looks comfortable at right central midfield. Obviously, he doesn't get in over Bruno. He has played in the middle on occasions. He can just control the ball, the tempo, pass it on. Left central midfield, he's looked out of place. But in the positive times I've seen him is when he's actually been in that attacking midfield slot, when he's been further up the pitch. Everybody remembers his debut. He hits the crossbar, his goal against Forest, that beautiful through ball for Isak
Against Leeds on Saturday.
He's better up top, further up top, but we don't. I think a diamond 4-4-2, we would see the best of Lewis Miley. So, in my opinion, I think some of it is about the manager not knowing how to utilise certain talents, and I think Miley and Anderson fall into that for me.
I'll put my faith behind Eddie's management skills instead of yours, because mainly
You say that, but you can have managers. Obviously, you can have coaching badges and all that. But how many times have we seen top managers make the most oddest mistakes? How long did it take Arteta to get a striker? 5 years. Am I a manager? No, but everybody and his dog knew that Arsenal needed a striker.
Yeah.
You know, Wenger had same issues. It doesn't matter, mate. It's practical. It's practicalities. Well, it is. It's true. It's common sense.
what saves me on about is all rice and peas.
Practicalities.
Gary,
What-
can I
what-
ask you something
what-
about
one
the
of the
team that
cap-
the squad you've put out there? I think it's a bit harsh on Shaw not to have him as the backup to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I agree. I mean, obviously, I can.
I'll tell you what would be harsh. The idea of putting Hall in mid, so putting Tino at left back, putting Hall in midfield against Wolves. This is a game that we've now got 2 strikers.
Yeah.
This is not Leeds anymore. We should be going out against Wolves and saying, this is us, this is what we do, and making a statement. And I think he'll do that.
No, the only reason I've put this out here now is because, like I said, you now realise
We've got a fantastic
sometimes
squad.
how difficult it is. It's not about names sometimes, it's about balance of play. And sometimes, you can bring a player in and as good as they are individually, can upset the balance of the team going forward. I mean, we looked so bloody ordinary against Leeds. It was shocking. And you struggle. Even when you go back to look at the game over and over and over again, it's a case of where did it all go wrong?
How many times you done it, Gary? Two was enough for me.
Now, I've watched the game twice live. Well, recorded fully, 90 minutes, and I've watched it another twice just to try, because obviously when I went on with Jeff Howe the other night on 90s Mags, Jeff Howe come up with a comment. And, when I hate to think that I've thrown myself in the crap, and I do it all the time, to be fair. So I had to go back and rewatch it. And it was about Jacob Ramsey, because obviously my thoughts on Jacob Ramsey was a little bit different to what Jeff Howe's was. And
In 15 minutes.
At the end of the day, who played 15 minutes?
I'm saying he had a great 15 minutes, Jacob Ramsey.
I mean, like I said, the biggest problem for me was he was very, very narrow, the same as Leeds. And that's what I said. I think whatever team Eddie Howe picks, we all know, as Jeff Howe's just said there, it's going to be a battle in midfield because Wolves have got a decent midfield and they will try and get that second ball. I think whatever he picks, and what I love about putting a team out like this now is, one, you look at strength in numbers. 2, you look at how you can change. Again, what makes a difference to a team that just gets a point to a team that goes out and gets all 3. And I think, like I said, I like the fact that he's changed it a little bit. Am I still keen on that midfield? I still think there's an improvement required. I still don't think just having what we've got there, I'm not completely 100% with Ramsey.
Let's save it all for the Wolves preview.
But we will get into it indeed. But all I'm saying to you is, as you can see, and as you've all heard from all 5 of us, everybody has a variation on what we believe is the right thing to do. And I think, like I said, the right thing to do is go out there and win. And I think
options is the key.
with a team that we've got now, it's favourable. I would never say we should, because I think, like I said, you've only got to go and watch Leeds a couple of days ago. What should have been wasn't. So it was what it is.
Guys, one of my concerns, and we've discussed this, is Eddie's in-game management and slow to make changes. So it's great we've got a big squad, but do you think he's actually going to change and bring on players much quicker than the 75th minute? So that's my concern. He's got loads of options, but he doesn't necessarily use them.
I think before the information come out, what we were talking about just now about the saga with Isak not training well and all that, and then you look at what EH says. The lads have got to perform on the training ground. They've got to show. Everybody's got a chance of being in the team if they put themselves forward and adapt themselves to the system. So, you go on his words and his words only, then every single player that I've just put on that field has an opportunity to start. And
but the changes,
you have to question.
Changes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They have an opportunity to start. So what I'm saying to you is you make changes to make a difference to the team. Now, whether that be a difference in defending a lead or whether it makes a difference in going chasing the game because you're losing. What I don't want to see from Eddie Howe is going back to the loyalty, you know what I mean? While you've got players on here and we see every other side, doesn't matter how big or small you are, all these players that have come into the Arsenals, the Liverpools, the Man U's, the Spurs, have all started. You learn.
Hold on, Gary. Hold on, Gary. I've got to say something here. Warren, mate, you're barking up the wrong tree, fella. I'm not Caribbean. Educate yourself. I'm African, mate.
No.
Get your facts right.
It
ain't funny.
He's saying Bokeh.
Bokeh. He said
Well,
Bokeh.
I saw the other one about the rice and peas, mate. It ain't funny.
It's the rice and peas and Warren.
It ain't funny.
And you Bokeh can jerk your chicken.
Get off the old sauce, mate. Stop eating the old sauce.
Get off the sauce, mate. But that's what I'm saying. For me,
let's have it right. Let's have it right. On Saturday, if you've got 6 or 7 players who are playing below par, well below par in some cases, as we all said in the player scores and the aftermatch, what Eddie does is almost irrelevant. We didn't have a striker, and we had a lot of players who had really poor performances. Let's hope that doesn't happen again.
Do you know what Eddie has to do this season as well? It's not only in-game management. It is if we're on a winning streak, he has to be willing to change the team at times as well. He has to. He can't. He's always went that if it's a team that's winning, he'd stick with it. We've got 4 competitions this year. He can't. He needs to have better squad rotation as well.
Bill Shankly and Brian Clough for me were pretty good managers, and they said you don't change a winning team.
But they were not playing for
competitions
with like 60 matches in a season.
No, that's right. I think there will be changes. We didn't have a striker, man.
I know we haven't got a striker, but listen, you haven't got to.
No, we've got to ask you play them both.
Yeah, that's what I said. We have to now start looking at making changes. And don't forget, we went back and the question was from the doc: do you think the in-game changes will change? And I said straight away, it's the start of the match that also has to change. We have to have insights on playing your best squad, and now you have players that can make a difference to that first 11. And that is what Eddie's got to start looking at. He can't just go with the loyalty and try and bank on the lads that know his system inside out to just do the job for him, because it's not always going to work in his favour. He has to gamble. We've seen so many other managers that haven't achieved what Eddie Howe have done as of what he's done for Newcastle. I agree, but what I'm saying is he's got now no option. He's got no excuse to say I haven't got this or I haven't got that, because now he has, and these are all his players that he's brought into this club. So if he doesn't trust the players that he's brought into the club, then there's only one person to blame, mate.
Yeah. But do you think he will do change?
Like I said, I can't see an excuse to give him if he doesn't. I said, the likes of Malik Chow coming into the side and having 3 games before an international. If you're good enough, you should start. And I think sometimes, when managers take the less gamble, if you like, sometimes it does make it harder on the player, because they get sat in the dugout and they get filled with the emotion of the crowd and, everything else, the passion. You could feel the temperament, sat here watching the game against Liverpool. So, it was difficult for him to come on 15 minutes. I understand that. But again, what proved Eddie Howe right was the fact that he didn't fill himself full of confidence when he was involved with the ball. And for me, the simple things about football is control, passing 5 yards, finding your position. And when you can't do all 3, and it doesn't matter whether you're on 5 minutes, 10 minutes or 2 hours, those are the simple parts of football that at that level in the Premier League, you should be able to do with your eyes closed. And don't get me wrong, when I was coaching, I used to really hammer my boys if they couldn't pass a 5-yard ball to feet. And when I see these boys do it, it frustrates the life out of me, because, you're thinking, God, yes, I know you're being marked, but you've got to position your body between player and ball. And if you do that and they come behind you, you get the free kick. What I don't like seeing half the time from the likes of Bruno is the half turn, because you're already opening your body up to the challenge, and you're virtually gifting the opportunity for the player marking you to get a foot in. Now, sometimes he does get the free kick, but how many times have we seen him lose the ball in dangerous areas? And that just puts us mentally on a different trajectory, because from an offensive momentum, if you like, where we're all pushing on, we go then on a defensive. But anyway, that's enough from me. But I think there's massive improvement. It's just up to Eddie now to believe in the lads that he's brought into the team. Any final words from you lovely people before we call it an evening?
Well, it was supposed to be on the transfer window, and I think we all started with a.
It was on the transfer window.
Sorry?
It was on the transfer window at the start, but I'm not going to go 2 hours and just talk about transfers.
We spoke about an hour about transfers.
What
we were
no.
a bit.
What I'm saying
was
is,
asleep for 45 minutes of it.
we're rounding up. We're rounding up. So I'm saying, transfer window, in the words of Borky, it blew me frock up.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that was it. He says we're knackered.
No, but it blew my.
Can I ask a question? What is a successful season for us this year?
Champions League for me, without
top
a doubt.
5. You're saying top 5.
Absolutely.
4 or bust, mate.
You can't go backwards.
And if we don't finish top 5, does Eddie get sacked?
Mate, I'll be watching him in November.
Given a fair wind and everything, as long as there's no stupid injury situations or people getting banned for 3 months or whatever, absolutely, aye.
He spent 250 million. I think we're the 3rd or 4th highest spenders in the window. If he doesn't get top 5, he has to get sacked.
And even 5th isn't a guarantee for Champions League this year.
He
No,
spent
guaranteed.
$250,000.
Yeah.
And he's had to sell
$250 million.
centre forward, arguably, in the Prem.
And Europa League revenue, we know is not good enough for us that we have.
His net spend is less than Sunderland.
It doesn't matter about net spend.
How does it not matter about net spend?
We need Champions League. We need
Are
Champions
you saying we wouldn't be a better team with Isak in it?
No. Sorry, what I meant was that the owners are looking at the fact that he's bought 6 players for 250 plus million.
Yes, and he's had to sell arguably his best player.
But he spent
Yeah.
is it 650 odd million in his tenure now.
And he's 10, you know.
700
That's we're
million.
getting to Arteta territory.
Yeah.
You have to be judged based on what you spend.
And he's
Simple as.
not now. Arteta's over $1 billion now.
But
And
he's catching them up.
he's got us from 19th in the league.
How far? Do we have to keep going back to that?
But you're the one that's
now.
now. You're the one that's how much money he spent.
No, Eddie's time's coming. Win. I hope
So,
you know this. His time's
Win.
coming because we're
If
winless.
we don't
in
get
11
Champions
games.
League,
Win.
if we don't get Champions League, would you
Miles
sack
my
him?
piss,
Win.
this, like.
We're winless in 11 games. Is that acceptable? Yeah, even if you remove
Well,
the
winless
preseason
in
friendlies,
5.
5 games. 5 games.
Winless in 5. How many of those 5 should we have won?
Maybe all of them.
Doesn't matter. Ifs and buts. Every team can say that.
You have to go by the results. So 11 being winless in 11 games is not acceptable. So now he's got the players. He got rid of the DOF.
11 games.
His players.
11 games without
a lot of money.
Hang on.
If the
11
results
games.
come, he's gone, mate.
11 games without any striker at all, because according to all of yous, Callum Wilson was a waste of time. So the only striker he had available for those 11 games, bearing in mind that Isak wasn't shaking a leg and was carrying an injury, was William Asula.
Now it's time to show whether he's worth his salt, because all the excuses.
And I agree with you.
And Champions League, it's as simple as this. Villa made the quarterfinals. So if we don't make the round of 16, it's a failure. Okay?
I agree with that.
And he has to
I said that the other day.
And the thing
Champions League,
and I'm
round
not
of 16.
I'm not waiting until the end of the season. I'm talking November, December. If it looks like we're really behind the pace, because we're already set, is it
So
7,
November, December this season
now, is it?
5-5-5. We're going to the
17th.
Champions League.
But we can't keep doing that every year, Win. It's time to bring. If he flops the same, bring in an elite manager. We can't just. It's not about the man. It's about the club. NUFC, not Eddie Howe FC.
So, Win, if we don't get Champions League, would you sack him?
Yes. Like I say,
It's recorded. It's
horrendous
recorded.
injuries, and if we've had a reasonable run, rub of the green.
But every club has injuries. Every club has ups
No,
and downs.
yes, and I'm saying if we get the odd injury here and there, which every club does in fact get, as opposed to say 2 seasons ago when we had a squad of 11.
But
Absolutely, he's got to go.
When this is you all over, in that you've said it in previous videos, we can fact check that 7th would be good enough. You're now saying that Champions League is the least that we can go.
Minimum.
When have I said 7th was good enough this season?
Well, when you drag me and Jeffers on that Sunday night.
Calling us what?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
And saying that 7th is good. And what will happen is
Warren's coming at you there. I am not a racist and won't let that go. I think,
Warren, if you ain't seen my messages, mate, I said it's all right. If you're getting a bit of stick in the chat, don't worry about it.
Okay, Gary, what about you? If you don't get Champions League, would you sack Eddie Howe?
Well, like I said, I've just virtually said that simply because it's Eddie Howe's team now.
You would, yeah.
It's Eddie Howe's team now. The pressure is on Eddie Howe now. There's no excuse because he has pulled these players in to perform. Now, if he has got what he believes a better side now, he's finished 4th, he's finished 7th, he's finished 6th with a non-desirable side. So anything less than 5th now is downwards, it's backwards. And
but 5th might not get Champions League, right?
Well, no, you're absolutely right. It may not. But what I'm
saying
saying
on how we perform.
It's all about the people within the European competitions, isn't it? And you've got a question. I mean, according to the reports now, Opta have got us down as finishing 10th in the Champions League.
I think to put a positive spin on this, you say that this shouldn't be a discussion. In that, Eddie does a great job this season. The team do a great job, and we'll finish as high. We'll finish in the top 4. We'll maybe win a cup. So, I don't want to start the season off by talking about Eddie getting. I know I have said
Exactly.
things like that, but I don't want to start the season off talking about Eddie getting
17th.
sacked.
Loki, we're
No, but
17th.
there should be objectives for the season. We have to
17th.
define them.
But we can't set objectives. I've got no issue with that. But what I'm saying is, we should be. We're all talking about what happens if we finish bottom in the say 7th to 10th.
Nope.
What happens if we finish 3rd, 4th, or 5th? You know,
But we have to finish. We have to finish in the top
I've
4.
finished top 4, mate.
well, we do. But that's what I'm saying.
But
Give the guy a chance before.
No,
We are
what-
giving him a chance. We're
Yeah,
just
but-
saying the objective.
Yeah, what you've also got to think of is, nobody else around us has stood still. So
Exactly.
every other team that were vying for those top 4 slots have also improved the squad, and that is the big problem now. Is we've gone forward a pace, if you like, a step, maybe 2 with the lads that we've got in, but it's still a gamble because, like I said, we've got 2 unknowns starting their Newcastle career, if you like, up top. Now, how much pressure are they under to perform? That's what you've got to understand. It's okay putting names on a piece of paper expecting these
Yes.
to perform. It's totally different getting a ball at your feet and performing with what you win the game with. There's lots of pressure on everybody, on all the squad now, including the coaching staff, including Eddie Howe, who's the main coach. But these are his players now. So, like I say, under that mantle alone, you should say to yourself, if you finished in the Champions League 2 out of 3 seasons, if I was Piff now and say we finished in 8th, I'd start to question,
Yes.
are you the person to take us forward? Now you've spent 700 million on this team. So, there is lots of pressure there. But again, you do have to give Eddie the opportunity and the chance to prove that this team, this squad of players that he's got, are going to take us forward. And like I said, this could be, as daft as it looks, a transformative season where we are getting the lads to gel within the system. And it may take us a year, and we may have to take a step back. But does PIF then have the patience to see that negativity and not give him the bullet? And I think that is the question now.
Yeah, I think PIF, if they've funded 250 million worth of transfers, they expect Champions League. And if he doesn't get it, is his 5th season now? Is it his 5th season?
Wait, it's his fourth main one, isn't it?
4th full season.
Yeah. So I think he'll be under significant pressure.
Can I just pick up on one point from earlier on? I've Googled it, checked it all over to make sure I'm right. Shola never ever paid his number 9 forward.
I thought he had 1 season.
No, definitely not. He did for Notts County, but not for us.
Notts County. It's close.
Papi Cisse was number 9, wasn't he?
He was, yes.
Yeah, he was. Well, there you go. I stand corrected. I don't mind.
It's not very often I'm right, Gary, so I just wanted to point it out.
That's okay. I'm trying to
You're
think
not wrong.
I think that's as best I'm going to get from win.
Yeah. You're not wrong. Right, that's it then. Well, the last part, I suppose, is this Voltemada his hero, as he seems to be obviously looking very much like him, Rudi Voller, from again a German side that I used to look and admire very much. I must admit, back in the day, a very good squad. And I used to have, our training top now. I've been trying to find it. I thought I'd still got it, but unfortunately I haven't. I used to have a German training squad top, because the team that I played for played with this really strange red, black, and orangey yellow top, which looked bloody awful, I must admit. But the training top was very similar to our training top now. And like I said, all it is virtually rehashed from a very old Adidas German top. And they do like to rekindle some of their old stuff, don't they? But that is it. That is the chat. You guys will see us tomorrow at midday with Chris and the Mighty Win, I think. And then it's me again tomorrow night with a panel, and we'll talk about, hopefully not Isak.
Not Isak. Definitely.
Yeah.
Isak's banned from
That's
today.
it.
The rat.
Can we just say thanks a lot to the super chatters? Michael
Do it.
McIntyre, Bravo Moore 1892, Sheila Little, Olasula Adun, the mighty MILF, magnificent magician, Warren Denning, umpteen times. Thank you, Warren. And when we're not a racist, by the way. Chris the American Mag coming into the scene. Andrew Barwick, thank you so much. Who else have we got? Matty Gorman, I think, was there somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, Matty Gorman was the last one.
And
He's there still on screen.
yeah, still on the screen. And the only one I didn't, we started loads, and what we were doing, we were just putting them on the screen while the lads were chatting. To be fair, and he's just reiterating that Gordon's a glorified cross-country runner. The end product is often dire. So yeah, I mean, like I say, he has got a lot to prove, as Foxy was reiterating earlier on, and I said that last season. For me, he's not been the Gordon that got the new contract, and he needs to certainly pull his socks up.
Every belief that he will get back to what he was when he was Players Player of the Season, Northeast Journalist Player of the Season, and Fans Player of the Season 2 years ago.
Absolutely.
No
That's what I
doubt
said.
I'll bet you a tenner, mate. He will not get those numbers. 23 goal contributions, wasn't it? He ain't getting those numbers, mate.
Yeah.
No
Let's
chance.
see.
I mean, like we've got to get those guys on the left-hand side getting into goal contributions.
We've got to get everybody getting into goal contributions.
You know what I mean?
Let's do it.
Because that is the problem. It's just been poor from that left-hand side. Even Harvey Barnes getting us out of trouble in times. 9 is the best he's done so far. So not brilliant numbers from attacking players, if I'm honest with you. And that also takes the pressure off your main man up front, doesn't it? Because if they're having an off day, if players in and around you can score goals,
men up front, and that's another big difference.
I'm going to
Not
say that
main
is a
man
big
up
difference.
front, men.
Yeah. Totally
We
agree.
might get someone in January, depending on how it goes. We've got enough money to get reinforcements.
That's the conversation for tomorrow, mate. That's that tomorrow night show. So come and join us if you want to. We're going to be talking about apparently the reasons why Piff actually sold Isak. And obviously gives us money then to go forward in January to pick up more recruits. So let's have a look at that one. But until then, thank you one and all, the mighty win, Jeff O, 90s Mags. Again, please go and have a look at 90s Mags. When you're back on, buddy?
Sunday.
There you go. Great chat. Lovely channel as always. Thank you for the doc for coming on board, recuperating after his ACL, and obviously the mighty Boki, the Mackham Slayer. Somebody in the chat says, "What you got a Mackham on?"
He's got Keegan behind him because you would have sacked him and all.
Oh my!
Yeah, because he never won us anything.
Because he never won us anything, aye.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, bless you. And again, thanks to everybody that's contributed in the chat. Thank you so much. And again, please, if you could, before you go, smash the likes.
Smash the likes, because we've got 146 likes.
Let's get that 150 up. Come on, guys.
Yeah, go on. One more. Come on, get 150.
That'll be lovely. Thank you so much to one and all. So it's a goodbye from them and them down there, and
goodbye from them. Oh,
and all them over there.
I thought that was an axe.
Yeah, it's his crutch.
Yeah, I see what it is now. It looked like an axe.
Bless you.
Pimped up crutch.
Absolutely. So again, 12 o'clock tomorrow for Chris and Win, and I'll see you tomorrow at 9 with the panel. Until now, what do we say, Win?
We're the lads.
Lasses and Bairns, and unfortunately the boys got thumped by Huddersfield today, so it's a shame. But again, lots of players have gone out on loan, so we're rebuilding at the under-21s as too.
And we haven't got a Paul Mitchell to buy any new players in there.
Yeah, we've another conversation for tomorrow. DOF time. See you, Win. Ta-da.
Peace.